between 3 and 4. We're going to talk to somebody who runs a local publication or works for a local publication serving our community here in East Yorkshire and Northern Lincolnshire. And this week we're joined by the editor of the Scunthorpe Independent, an online community news group covering local stories in and around Scunthorpe. Paul Rhoades joins me. Paul, good afternoon. Thanks for coming in.
Hi there, Andy. Thank you for having me.
First of all, tell us about Scunthorpe Independent. How did this all come about?
Scunthorpe Independent, it's only really been launched in its current format since around about Christmas time. My background is in IT. I'm a software developer. And so I've always blogged. I've always been a blogger. And a few years ago, I thought that it might be a bit more interesting if I developed a blog where other people could contribute, not just myself. So I set up a website called Visit Scunthorpe, which was reasonably popular, but perhaps a little bit confusing for readers of it because, you know, people may be misinterpreted perhaps as a sort of
tourism site.
A tourism site as opposed to a news site. Sure. And while initially it was set out to sort of showcase events and things that were going on in Scunthorpe, it did become more and more news orientated. So over the last year, a group of us sort of formalised the structure of it a little bit more and spent a good part of last year coming up with a fairly strong brand identity and redesigning the website. And so we launched the Independent, or the Scunthorpe Independent news website in December of last year with a pop-up gallery that we held at Celebrate Party Shop in Scunthorpe. They were good enough to put up with us for 4 weeks before Christmas, and it gave us a little bit of a shop front presence, and it also gave us an opportunity to help promote and develop some local arts. We had a lot of local bands playing at a lunchtime. We had local artists displaying that hadn't had gallery displays before, and it was a great little community event. Proved to be very, very popular.
And talking of popular, in terms of subscribers, I mean, if you took all your subscribers, you wouldn't be able to fit them in Glanford Park, would you? 8,500?
We've just gone past 8,500 subscribers, which, to be honest with you, was quite astounding, really. I'd never imagined that it would actually get to be as big as it is. So whenever we publish an article on there, that's, 8,500 people get an email or they receive something in the Twitter feed that basically says there's an article on the Scunthorpe Indie website and gives them a brief summary of it.
Okay, let's look at some of the stories that you're covering at the moment, some of the things happening in the Scunthorpe area. This University Technical College, UTC as they call it, the contract's been awarded.
Yeah, just got news about that today from the local council, and personally I think that the idea of the UTC is a great idea. There is some debate in the media as to whether there are enough places to fulfil it or what other educational needs there are in the area. But I think that anything that's linking education with employment and also creating, that there's going to be 70 full-time jobs working at the UTC when it opens in September of next year, that to me has to be a positive for the town because it's investing in intellectual property, I suppose, within the town. The good thing about this as well is that the contract for building the UTC has been awarded to the local firm Clugston's. And so again it is great to see that there's an investment there in a local business and obviously local jobs and opportunities for local people.
Well, it's good, I guess, for the profile of Scunthorpe because there aren't that many of these UTCs about yet. I mean, they've got one possibly they might build in Hull, but I mean, the Scunthorpe one's well ahead of that, and there's one in Lincoln, isn't there? But
that's right, yeah.
But this is quite profile raising, I'd have thought.
I think so as well, and the tie-in there with the renewables and the renewable sector as well, within the Humber region, whether you're talking about the developments on the South Bank that do seem to be a little bit stalled at the moment, or the wider North Bank developments with Siemens and what have you. At the end of the day, I'm always of the opinion that anything that's good for Hull and the Humber is good for the whole, the region as a whole. And certainly, the reduction in the bridge tolls. For years, I've worked in Hull and travelled across the bridge, and for a while, I lived in Hull and travelled in the other direction on a daily basis. And the bridge tolls were a real issue for somebody doing a commute, and so I think things are seeming to come together on that, which is great.
Now, our forecaster Paul Hudson was tweeting some photos of these funnel clouds and tornadoes. You've got the tornado spotted near Scunthorpe, and I think we had a picture from Rhoades. Quite spectacular photos.
Yes, one of those that we've put out there is definitely from the one near Kroll. We were sent those by some of our readers yesterday evening through our Twitter feed, and so that this is the great thing about having a community website. As more and more people get to know about it, they start to follow us on Twitter, or they like our Facebook page, and people are really, really keen to share their experiences and what's going on. And the funnel clouds, we do see quite a few of them around the Scunthorpe area. I remember seeing one near Brig last year, and that they are more regular occurrences than people would perhaps imagine, because you think out on tornadoes and you think about Hurricane Alley and damage and destruction and that kind of thing, but by landmass, the United Kingdom actually has more funnel cloud than the United States.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I should check that out.
I checked that one out myself.
I'll put that to Paul Hudson later. That's a great start. That's good. All right. Let's talk about this Cafe Indie pop-up market.
Right. Cafe Independent it's a great project. It was set up by VANL, Voluntary Action North Lincolnshire, and a guy called David Plumtree is the project manager of this. And the idea behind Cafe Independent is it's reused some disused space in Scunthorpe, quite a large space, which is the former cooperative pharmacy on the High Street. Very large building. It's split over 3 floors. And the idea behind it is to provide training and education for young people in areas such as catering, cashier, customer services and retail. The target audience is more people my sort of age than specifically trying to provide a cafe for young people. It's a training facility for young people, and they have live events, and they have lots and lots of different ideas about how the space can be used. And what they did last weekend, which was incredibly successful and very, very popular, was a pop-up market. And the idea was that it was organised by local traders and local crafters, and they had people in there, everything from a guy who calls himself the Vagrant Artist, and he reuses and upcycles scrap materials and turns them into jewellery and all sorts of wonderful wacky ideas. There was Pitch and Vintage, which specialise in vintage clothing and vintage fabrics and that kind of thing, and a whole host of different crafters. The cafe was absolutely packed, and in addition to that, they also had a local choir singing as well, which were they're absolutely fantastic. That they're looking for members. That's the one for all Lincolnshire choir there, if anybody fancies a singing.
Just talking of choirs and so forth, just a couple of quick stories now from the world of showbiz, if you like. I know you want to give a plug to the show tonight starting at the Baths Hall Community Talent Show, don't you?
Yes, that's right. This evening at the Baths Hall, part of the remit of the Baths Hall is to provide community events as well as commercial events, because it is a publicly funded institution. And what they're going to be doing this evening is the first of those events, and it's the first heat of what they've called Funny Scunny. And it's encouraging local people to try their hand at stand-up. So I've not got the details as to who's appearing, but the idea behind it is to pretty much people that are either just starting out or are looking to try and break into the stand-up comedy arena. And there's several heats. There's a heat this evening at the Baths Hall. The doors open at 7, and I think the show starts at 8. There's a second heat next Thursday, which is the 12th, which somehow I seem to have ended up on the judging panel for that. And another heat on Friday the 13th. And as I say, the admission to it is free. It's a great idea to sort of drum up some community spirit, and for local people to have a go and get the experience of standing on a stage in front of people and trying to make people laugh. Personally, the thought terrifies me.
Yeah, I've done it once. It's frightening. It's much more frightening than doing radio. It really is. Yeah. Okay. Well, good luck to everybody doing that. We should mention Natalie Lowe from Strictly Come Dancing, and she is working with a dance instructor from Scunthorpe.
That's right. Strictly Come Dancing, two of the professionals on there, Natalie Lowe and Ian Waite, along with the swimming champion, Mark, just let me find his name. They put together a fitness program called Fit Steps.
Right.
And we've got several instructors in the area who provide this. There's Dance Julie and there's Zumba Zoe, and there's probably some more that I don't know about. But part of the remit that we have is to try and encourage, local independence in terms of fitness instructors and dancers and that kind of thing. And Dance Julie has just recently finished a training program with Strictly Come Dancing star Natalie Lowe. She's completed what they call now their level 2 flair course, and I think that there are some classes on this evening at Lyndham Street Community Centre, 7 o'clock. So Fit Steps, if anybody fancies that, then it's a really fun fitness program, but it actually focuses on the dance that they put into Strictly Come Dancing.
Okay, very good. Plenty to do this evening, Scunthorpe, isn't it? Bath's Hall, so you could do that first, then get out of the Bath's Hall for the comedy afterwards.
Absolutely.
You squeeze both in, actually.
I'm going to try.
Yeah. Let's finish off, if we may, Paul. We're going to talk about this story about petition launch for CCTV at the Woodlands Crematorium. I know this is a story of two sides, really, probably.
Yes, it is. It's quite a touching story, and it's something that we're supporting through the petition that we've got linked to on the Scunthorpe Independent news website. A couple of weeks ago, we were approached by a family that were quite distraught that they've got a grave down at the at Woodlands Crematorium for one of their children, and they'd been to visit the grave and it had been damaged. Now, the first thought with this kind of thing is that, it's vandalism, it's people messing about, it's disrespectful, that kind of thing. And, so that they spoke to us and they spoke to the council, and while we were talking to them and putting bits and pieces on Facebook, we actually got a lot of messages, some public, some private, from several families saying that very similar things had happened to them. And they'd asked for CCTV to be put in place, and nothing had ever happened. So I think the nephew or the uncle, of one of the children that has a grave there has actually started a petition, which is on the North Lincolnshire Council website. I looked before I came out, and it was just under 700 signatures, so it is getting a lot of support. And well, as you say, there's two sides to this. Some people are saying that yes, some of this damage could be caused by wild animals. It is known that deer do go into there, and a deer could cause this kind of damage. But the flip side of that, I think, is if there was CCTV coverage there, then at least the families would know. We're not saying, it's vandals and all of this kind of thing. It's that it would actually offer some sort of knowledge or reassurance to the families that yes, it has been damaged. It was an accident. It was not a malicious act, and it was a wild animal, or it was something that was being done maliciously. And surely the presence of CCTV down there may arguably put people off carrying out malicious acts in the first place. So it's a developing story that it's getting a lot of interest locally, and let's hope that something positive comes from it.
All right, and you can read about that on the Scunthorpe Independent. So the website is thescunthorpeindependent.com. Okay, good.
Thank you very much.
Been good to talk to you, Paul. Thank you very much indeed. Good luck with that. And
thank you for having me.
Have a good evening this evening with your dancing and your comedy. Paul Rhoades from the Scunthorpe Independent.